I think as a baseball fan, when I look back to the late 2010s, early 2020s, I'm going to look at Christian Yelich as one of the best players of that era. I don't know if he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's definitely on that track if he continues. But I'm going to look back and remember Christian Yelich as being that dude, especially right now. How you guys doing? It is July 16th, 2020 out here in this quarantine. This is James Sims. And for this episode of The Elite, I was going to go into one of the best players in baseball right now. He's a player who has a legitimate case for the best player in baseball right now. And I believe that had he played the full season last year, he would have been the front runner and he would have back-to-back. He would be sitting on back-to-back National League MVPs. But I'll get into that in a bit. So let me get into Christian Yelich. He's a 28-year-old out of Thousand Oaks, California. Went to Westlake High School. Really kind of close out to where I lived out when I lived in the Valley. No, he's a good, strong left-handed bat. He was drafted out of high school and in the 2010 MLB draft at 19, and he eventually worked his way up to getting called up in his he got called up in his age 21 season in 2013, where he ended up playing. He ended up with 69 hits in 62 games. I like more hits than games played, especially when they're young. But he was kind of getting his stripes. He was kind of getting his footing. But no, Christian Yelich was he was kind of getting himself out there. In his 2014 season, he played 144 games. He finished with 165 hits in those 144 games, 30 doubles, 9 home runs, 54 RBIs, finishing with a 284 batting average. But he finished with a Gold Glove for the Miami Marlins, and he kind of really got his name out there. That was actually the only Gold Glove he got in his career, but he actually earned it in his age 22 season playing for the Marlins out in the outfield with Giancarlo Stanton. In that season, they finished 4th in the NL East and they missed the playoffs. Next season, Christian Yelich played 126 games that season. He finished with 143 hits in those 126 games, finishing with 7 home runs, 44 RBIs, his 300 batting average. This is him 3 seasons in, and you see how good he is at this very moment. And I was it took him a second to get it, but he was still connecting with the baseball. And he actually hit 300 this season. He didn't get a Gold Glove or a Silver Slugger, or he wasn't even an All-Star this year. But no, he was a good player, but he was slowly progressing as a player. He was getting better and better. He was learning from his mistakes and slowly, gradually becoming a good player. In 2016, his age 24 season, he played 150. In his 155 games that he played, he finished with 172 hits, 38 doubles, 21 home runs, 98 RBIs. First time he hit over 60 RBIs in his career, but he hit 98 of them. He finished 19th in the MVP voting. Yeah, but he finished with the Silver Slugger. Okay, he was awarded, and people were starting to recognize him as the good bat that he was. I mean, he hit 298 for that season in 155 games. That's mad impressive. And then, of course, that season, the Miami Marlins would go to finish 3rd in the NL East, but, of course, they missed the playoffs with Giancarlo still putting out some good baseball. In 2016, no, that was 2016. In his age 25 season, 2017, he ended up playing 156 games. He ended up with 170 hits, 36 doubles, 18 home runs, 81 RBIs, not as much as the last season. Wasn't really awarded, but he was still... I mean, he took a bit of a dip, but he was still becoming a good hitter, and he was getting himself situated with the Miami Marlins. And that season, they finished 2nd in the NL East. They were a really good season, and Giancarlo Stanton won the MVP, and that's when he was sharing the outfield with Giancarlo Stanton and Marcell Ozuna, who right now is playing for the Atlanta Braves. He was had a good career after he left the Miami Marlins. That was a really stacked outfield. That was a very, very talented outfield. The very next year, the outfield would break up, where Yellich was traded by Miami for prospects to Milwaukee. Giancarlo Stanton was signed by the New York Yankees, and then that's when that outfield blew up, and Marcell Ozuna soon left for the St. Louis Cardinals. But as soon as as soon as Christian Yelich went out to Milwaukee, he was a completely different guy. I mean, he hadn't won up until that point. Up until his age 26 season, he only had a Gold Glove and a Silver Slugger, and then his age 26 season, he really blew up. In 2018, in the 147 games he played, he finished with 187 hits in those games, 118 runs, 34 doubles, 36 home runs, 110 RBIs, with a National League leading 326 batting average. He led the league in slugging percentage with 598. He had a 1,000 OPS. And then he won. He was a Silver Slugger. He was an All-Star, and then he was the MVP of the National League. Many people could say it was due to Giancarlo leaving the National League for New York, but still, Christian Yelich had a better season that year than Giancarlo Stanton did. So, Christian Yelich was that guy in Milwaukee. That season, the Milwaukee Brewers finished first in the NL Central. They beat the Rockies in the NLDS. They lost the NLCS to the Dodgers, but Christian Yelich was the MVP that season, and he showed baseball that he was there. He was there to stay, and the fact that he hit that pretty young. I mean, he wasn't really an All-Star up until then. The first time he was an All-Star, he was an MVP, and that was his age 26 season 2 years ago. And last year, his age 27 season, he only played 130 games. I mean, that's 32 games in the season he didn't play. He finished with 161 hits in those games, 100 runs, 29 doubles, 44 home runs, 97 RBIs, and 130 games. I don't even want to. That would probably be a 100. That would probably be a 55 home run season if he played a normal season, but he didn't. He led the league with batting average with 329. And OBP with 429, slugging percentage was, and he led the league with slugging percentage with 671. He had an 1100 OPS, and he finished runner-up in the MVP because Cody Bellinger played more games. He finished out the season, so I believe Cody Bellinger therefore deserved the MVP this past year. But you can make an argument that for this upcoming year, Christian Yelich is a threat to be the MVP of the National League. Who's saying he isn't? Ronald Acuna he's amazing, but Christian Yelich has proven it. He's already there. Cody Bellinger has proven it too, but Christian Yelich has proven it against Cody Bellinger in a full season. Let's see what happens this year. And even this past year, like I said, the Brewers made it to the wild card, but they lost to the Nationals in the wild card because Yelich came back a little late. So he came back into the mix a little late, but as of right now, if you're looking at Christian Yelich's situation, he is a 28-year-old outfielder playing in a pretty good Brewers system that's set to do pretty well in the NL Central with its competent pitching staff. Like, it's really, really good. They have Josh Hader, the best closer. If they have a good starting outing, they can just put the clamp on it, put Josh Hader in, finish out the game. He's got it. They still have Ryan Braun. They still have they still have Christian Yelich. They still have Lorenzo Cain. No, they're a good team. I like this Brewers team. I like these players. And if you're looking at Christian Yelich looking back, within the last 2 years, he's 27, but in the last 2 years he's been an MVP, he's been an All-Star twice, a Gold Glover because he was a Gold Glover in his second year. He's won the Silver Slugger 3 times, and he has 2 batting titles. There are a lot of Hall of Famers in baseball that do not have 2 batting titles. Christian Yelich is a lead. And he should definitely be feared as the Goliath in the National League this season. And thank you for listening to all 10 minutes of this. I hope you really get a chance to see Christian Yelich for the player that he is. If you get a chance to see him, he wears number 22 for the Milwaukee Brewers. He's that guy. He pulls up to the Milwaukee Bucks games with Giannis, and he goes to the Browns games for Baker Mayfield. No, he's with it. He's for the area. He loves it. He reps out. He's a Cali kid. No, I have good hopes for this kid. I really would love to see Christian Yelich in the Hall of Fame. Like I am really going to enjoy watching to see how this career pans out. But without further ado, I hope all is well in the quarantine. I wish all is well. Yeah, if you get a chance, just check out my boy Christian. We're number 22 in the Milwaukee Brewers. Peace out.